20th century English philosopher Alan Watts said, "We cannot be more sensitive to pleasure without being more sensitive to pain. The moment we become sensitive to pain, we also become sensitive to pleasure. And the moment we become sensitive or reciprocal to pleasure, then we also invite unwanted pain, undesirable sorrow, and obviously insufferable tragedy and conflict into our lives in one way or another, because pleasure and pain actually have always been connected with one another, and they also are reciprocal in nature, character, and in their action and yield. So we have to be very careful, responsive, and sincere in terms of entertaining and regulating both pleasure and pain in our lives, because both are important, fundamental, and necessary, not only to the regulation of life as a whole, but also to the continuation of our character, happiness, satisfaction, as well as our relationships in one way or another. But the thing is, we just cannot be more volatile or open to one of these two conditions. We have to basically achieve and maintain a degree of moderation, control, and restraint between both pleasure and pain in our lives. We cannot entertain the one more than the other. There has to be a balance. So we have to strike a control and a discipline between the pleasure as well as the pain that we entertain, and that we basically are willing to suffer in our lives, and that we also welcome into our mentality and emotion in one way or another. Because if we experience more pleasure, if we are only into satisfying desires and experiencing pleasures and deriving temporary satisfaction, then we also are going to experience more pain and unnecessary tragedy and undesirable suffering, conflict, torment, or turmoil, when we are not met with the kind of treatment that we want, or when we're rejected or betrayed by the others. Whether it's reasonable or unreasonable does not matter. And that means we have to have the habit, the willingness, the intention, and the resolve that tells us to experience both pleasure and pain on a similar and equal level, so that we are not dominated, controlled, or ultimately hurt by any. And when we entertain more pain in our lives, which may be or may not be necessary, then we become resistive to pleasure unnecessarily. We resist pleasure because of our intoxication with pain, and because of our obsession with pleasure, we